Okay, here's the solutions based on credit 2003. First question, it's an irregular BODMAS type question. So 7 into 8.4 first of all gives us 1.2, and then 5.04 add 1.20 gives us 6.24. Second question, do the brackets part first of all. So 1 3/4 add 3/8, that's 1 and 6/8, add 3/8 if we make the bottom number the same, which is 1 and 9/8, which is 2 and 1/8. Now we need to deal with the 2/7 at the front, so that's 2/7 times, and if we turn the 2 and 1/8 upside down, that gives us 17/8. Little bit of cancelling, 1 in there, 4 in there. Multiply now, 1 times 7 is 17, and 7 times 4 is 28, to 17/28. If you've done your good old famous kiss and smile method, then you're going to end up with massive numbers, because you're going to have 32 in the bottom, and at this point here you need to do some cancelling at the end before you do the multiply. Should get the same answer. Question 3 removes from brackets 6x minus 12 minus 12x minus 4, which gives us minus 6x minus 16. Question 4 of functions. Put negative 2 into that formula. 7 take away 4 times negative 2. Now negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8, and 7 add 8 is 15. Second part of the question, you have to put the function equal to 9. So 7 minus, and I've changed it to t because that's what the question wanted, is equal to 9. So minus 4t is 9 take away 7, which is 2. So t equals 2 divided by negative 4, which cancels down to negative a half. Question 5, factorise in a pair of brackets 2x and x at the front. Now to find the numbers at the end, there's lots of different ways of doing it. 2 times 5 is 10, and then the 3 to get the 7. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, add 3 gets you negative 7. So there's your answer. Question 6, find the gradient. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 10/5, which becomes 2. It cuts the y-axis at negative 5, the question tells us. So its equation is just going to be y equals 2x and take away 5, using y equals mx plus c. And then part C, you've got the point 3k, k, which lies on the line. So in other words, you should be able to substitute these values into the formula. First is the x value, second is the y value, so you end up with k equals 2 lots of 3k minus 5. So k equals 6k minus 5. Take the 6k over, you get minus 5k is minus 5, which gives us k is equal to 1. Question 7, 8 to the power 2/3. Because it's a fractional power, we know it involves a root sign. There's your 8. Now the 3 on the bottom means you get a 3 inside the little root sign there. The 2 on the top means it's your answer squared. So the cube root of 8 is 2, and then 2 squared is equal to 4. Question 8. 2 ways we can go about this. First way is just simply to say root 2 into root 24. Well, 2 into 4 goes 12 times. So I can just simplify that to root 12, which becomes root 4 times root 3, which is 2 root 3's. Or the second method is to rationalise the denominator at the very start. So multiply the top and bottom by root 2. So the top becomes root 48, the bottom becomes 2. Root 48 is root 16 times 3 divided by 2. Root 16 is 4 root 3's divided by 2, and 2 goes into 4 twice, so you end up with the same answer. First method is quickest. Number 9, vectors, 2u add v, so 2u's are 6, negative 2, v is negative 4, 6, adding these together gives us 2, 4. 6 add negative 4, 6 take away 4 is 2, negative 2 add 6 is 4. Second part of the question is to find the magnitude. Well, that's where you take each of these answers you've just found and square them like Pythagoras. So that's the square root of 4 add 16, which is the square root of 20. Okay, that was a wee interruption there. Root 20 is root 4 root 5, which becomes 2 root 5. Question 10, solve the equation. Now looking at the bottom numbers, we've got a 2, a 4 and a 2. So what does each of those, or what numbers does each of those divide into? And it's 4. So I'm going to put a wee 4 there, a wee 4 there, and a wee 4 there. Why am I doing that? Because this 2 will cancel into that 4 twice. So your starter equation will be 2 lots of 3x add 2. That 4 cancels with that 4, so it's take away. Now please note that I'm writing x minus 4 in brackets. And then 2 divides into that 4 twice, and 2 times 9 is equal to 18. Now I've removed the brackets completely, makes life so much easier. Let's remove the fractions. Now I'll remove the brackets. 6x add 4 minus x add 4 equals 18. Now you can see the reason now why I had the brackets there, because the negative sign on the outside and the negative sign on the inside turns that into a positive. Tidying up gives us 5x equals 18, take off 4, take off another 4, 10, x must be 2. Question 11. The bacteria increases by 0.6%, starts at 5,000 and is for 3 hours. So we have 100 add 0.6 is 100.6%, turn to a decimal is 1.006, which we now raise to the power 3 because we're doing it for 3 hours, multiplied by the starting amount, which was 5,000, gives us a final answer of 5,090. Question 12, find the mean and standard deviation. Well, the mean is where you add all these numbers together and then divide by the number you have, which is 6. 46. Now set up your wee table. X numbers are 49, 44, 41, 52, 47, 43. The mean number is 46. Do the take away sum. 3, negative 2, negative 5, 6, 1 and negative 3. Then we square these numbers. 9, 4, 25, 36, 1 and 9. Add them up. 9, 10, 46, 71, 84, and the standard deviation is the square root of that number divided by 1 less than the numbers you had, which was 5, which comes out to be 4.1. She also finds the standard deviation is 2.6. So what does that mean? Well, the standard deviation is bigger in the second one, 4.1. The second standard deviation is 2.6. So therefore, what conclusion can you write? You can write that the prices were more spread out. right, because of the bigger standard deviation. Question 13. Now the question tells us that the first bearing is 72, which we've marked in. The second bearing, it says, is 140, so what I've taken is the 72 away to give us the angle inside the triangle is 68, because together these make 140. Now we're trying to calculate side x here, so we have the picture where we know the two sides and we know the angle between them, so therefore it's the cosine rule, which is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. So putting the numbers in, what we've got, 30 squared plus 50 squared, 2 times 30 times 50 times cos 68. All of that comes to 2,276. So your answer for x is the square root of that, and the square root of that comes out to be 47.7. Don't forget the units, kilometres. Question 14. You have a formula which says d equals n times n minus 3 over 2. Question asks you, a polygon has got 20 diagonals, how many sides has it got? So all we're really going to do is we're going to put this number into the formula. So we're going to have n times n minus 3 over 2 is equal to 20. Now we need to solve that. So let's get the 2 over there first of all. So you're left with n times n minus 3 equals 60. Remove the brackets, n squared minus 3n, bring the 60 across, negative 60, put it equal to 0. Yes and no, when did 2 times 20 become 60? You're right, just a wee slip there guys, is equal to 40, which can be factorised into n minus 8, n plus 5, giving you an answer of n is 8 or n is negative 5. Now we need to ignore the negative 5. It's impossible to have a shape with negative 5 sides. So your answer is an 8-sided shape or an octagon. Question 15. 15. Calculate the length of SW. Calculate this distance here. Now, unlike last homework, this one I've actually drawn the two triangles in for you. So hopefully you can see that you first of all need to find this side, which we'll call x, and then once we've found that side, which is x, we can do SOHCAHTOA again to find the side that we're needed. So looking at the first triangle, okay, we know the hypotenuse is 13.1, we know this angle is 34, we're trying to work out that x there, so it's a sine question. So sine 34 equals x over 13.1. So x equals 13.1 times sine 34, which is 7.33. So we're now going to use the second triangle, where we've just worked out this side to be 7.33. We know this angle is 25, and we're trying to find this here, which we'll call y. This time it's a cos question, so cos 25 equals y over 7.33. So y is 7.33 times cos 25, which comes out to be 6.6, and the units are centimetres. So two uses of SOHCAHTOA. Question 16. It looks quite hard. Okay, first of all, because it looks like there's not enough information. However, we're asked to calculate the length of OB, which is a radius, so we'll call that R. Now we know that this here is also the radius. So if that side is the radius, then this little part must be R minus 2. because of the 2 for this part here. So if I can now extract that triangle, we have this r, we have this is 3, we have this is r minus 2. We can now do Pythagoras on this. So the big side squared, r squared, is equal to the small side squared added to the other small side squared. So r squared equals, remove the brackets, r squared minus 4r plus 4, and then do the 3 squared. R squared on this side, r squared on this side will cancel each other out. Bring the minus 4r over, so you get 4r equals 13. So the radius is 13 divided by 4, which is, not 6, don't be stupid, is 3.25 centimetres. And lastly, question 17. First part of the question says, find the time taken. We know the formula for time. It's distance divided by speed. So what distance are you travelling x? What speed are you doing? 75. So the first part of the question is nice and simple. X divided by 75. Second part of the question is a lot harder. Find the average speed. Now the formula for average speed, which is the same as speed, is the total distance that you travel divided by the total time that it takes you. So the total distance, now the question tells us that the distance it travels in the first part is x, second part the same distance, so total distance is going to be x add x, which is 2x, and the total time it takes, well, the time for the first part was x over 75, time for the second part is x over 50. Now we've got to simplify all of this. So 2x on the top, there's not much we can do with. X over 75 add x over 50. If we do that as a wee separate sum, then the first number that both of them go into is 150. 75 goes in twice, 50 goes in 3 times, gives us 5x over 150, which is the same as x over 30. Now you can do that at the side obviously if you want, or you can just type it in your calculator. Anyway, the total time taken is x over 30. Now how are we going to deal with this question here where we've got basically 2 fractions? Well, the rule for the second fraction when you're dividing is to turn it upside down. So instead of x over 30, I'm going to turn it upside down to 30 over x, make it into a multiply. This x and this x is going to cancel, and then 2 times 30 is 60. Don't forget the units, kilometres per hour. Okay, very hard question there to finish off with, but hopefully during the rest of that paper you will have achieved enough marks to get whatever your goal is.